Hello again, welcome to another Toku Ramblings. Today we have another non-Toei Tsuburaya Garo production. This time from the creators of the toy line that would go on to be part of the creation of Transformers Takara, Madan Senki Ryukendo. A show that is... Eh, kind of this oddity. It sold really well, in fact, far better than most of the Toku shows that were coming out at the time, but didn't really find much of an audience and just kind of fell into obscurity until like years later when all those kids grew up and more or less remembered that this show existed. And it is a it's a show. It's a show. I do think this is a good show. It is far better than Caesar X ever was, but it's very much the most tokusatsu show I think I have watched. It very much goes in on all the tropes that you either like or hate for that. So the series centers around the city Akamono, which has a massive power spot that draws demons that want to draw out the negative emotions in humans in order to revive their lord. The police can't do much as it falls out of their jurisdiction, so it falls to a secretive organization shot to deal with the demons mixing technology and matter to create their own superpowered warriors powered by keys. It's at this point that our main protagonist, Kenji Narukami, arrives to start his job as a police officer, and subsequently is made Ryukendo by bonding with the Geki Ryukin, a living sword that allows him to transform into a Ryukendo by inserting a key. And that's most of the story in this show. There's evil demons trying to take over the world, so go our heroes again. This show is episodic to both its charm and detriment. This show really leans into every notable trope of a tokusatsu we have, because we have our idiot hot-blooded hero with a strong sense of justice, which I'll give credit. I do think everyone in this show does a good job with what they are given, and it's kind of weird because this character actually does have a bit of backstory, because we later learn that he has a fiance that shows up from time to time, and she's actually pretty great. I do like her a lot, but he's not really interested in her. Instead, he has initially a thing with the flower girl, but they don't really notice. Well, she doesn't really notice him, so he gets more attention with the sort of calm girl Rin, and it's one of those things that it just was a more story focused Senta show. No, I think it would more or less have been interesting to follow the whole fiance thing, but it really doesn't matter in the long run. She's just kind of there as one of the girls who can kick ass. I will note, if you were never fond of like red Sentai focus in the mid 2000s, since this show is going to more or less annoy you, because Kenji gets everything. Not only does he get four forms, his main balanced form, the fire, water, no, ice, and electric form, but then they get powered up when he gets the upgraded form, and then he gets an extra gold form at the end that's basically the ultimate form of the entire and yeah, this show is every episode introduces like a new key that they use to help solve the issue of the day or monster of the week. I wouldn't say it's the most egregious, since there's an actual organization here that's making them from stuff they get from the villains, but it can kind of feel like it's just a hey, here's this new toy we've made, go out and buy it so we can make more of this. But Kenji is alright as a protagonist, in my opinion. And again, no one besides like Koichi, the third one that they get, that really has much of a story. But I like the stuff we give him. I kind of forget about Ryugano Fudo, though. He's the silent, stoic second writer that's meant to contrast the main one, but he never really has a standout moment that I can remember off the top of my head. Heck, he kind of disappears for a few episodes before he gets a new power up. Okay, it's probably by power up, it's to repair Go Ryugun after it's damaged, but uh, he doesn't really have anything of, besides being like his old, getting the old man joke, despite not being particularly old in his mind. Again, if there's anything of a story in this season, it's Coach. He's the only one who really has any kind of character. Well, I wouldn't call it a character arc because he does have something of a past with the commander as he blames his death for his parents. But if you've seen Toku like this, you probably know where this is going. He didn't have anything to do with it, and instead it was the fault of the villain. Who killed his parents when they were more or less making all their attack. Kind of going from a jerk loner to being a bit more ostentish, but kinder. He also kind of has this love triangle that's not really a love triangle thing since the flower girl gets interested in him, and that makes Kenji all jealous. Like, I can't stand the new loner bad guy type. And again, it's hard to talk about a season like this because it's like what you see here is what you get. This is a show that embraces its silliness like it's a great thing, and it really works. But at the same time, it's very much everyone is what they are. So you have your idiot hero, the stoic second blood, and then the third warrior, where you're making out this trio. Shot itself is perfectly fine. Again, nothing standing out. There's the cheat that goes between goofy and serious depending on the situation. And the operator, who's also the only girl and has a tsundere relationship with Kenji, because there's no way he'd like that baka. And then the smart one who makes all the new toy keys for the heroes to use against the villains. The police are primarily a element to this because they really don't do much because, like, it's demons. We don't deal with demons. We just tell people to get out of their way and not be around them, which I will give this as something I really do like about the show, is that it really makes the town feel like, okay, like everyone, like there's the old couple, the cute flower girl, the police chicks that are kind of around, but we do see them trying to like create a fighting force against the demons to help them. It doesn't happen, but it gives the town a bit more, the townsfolk more character beyond just people we have to save as this part of the week. And again, it kind of just goes for the villains too. They're okay. We had the standard Mad Doctor, the Blood Knight, the wary opponent, the Blood Knight who's also a wary opponent. Everyone feels bad when he's killed and then comes back and is just a shell of his former self. The dark chick who starts to make things a bit more serious, and then the actual Knight of Cerberus that doesn't really make the plot that dark, just kind of comes in. And I think Jock Moon is the best of these for the whole noble demon thing. But again, but it's just like, this is a show that very leans into archetypes and tropes and takes it to the most campy extreme, which works for this case. This is a fun little popcorn show for that I think really works for it. Oh yeah, also for the villains, the foot soldiers kind of look like the purple versions of the Go-Go 5 foot soldiers. I mean, sort of. I could be wrong about that. That I do also like that it's not just the standard like suited monsters that we see a lot in because they do get a bit more experimental with the monster designs. Like they're a lot bigger, almost mecha like to get them all their uniqueness. Like there's a giant balloon monster. One there's this episode where they clone Ryukendo and make him giant and start terrorizing the town, so they start hating Ryukendo. And though, again, it is a lot more of just basic monster designs, but I do like that. I think the main suits are really good. That standard mix of the main color plus white. Ryugano I think goes for a bit too much white and not enough red. And I wouldn't say this is the best, but I'm always fond of like the addition of a specific color to denote strength. Like in this case, the use of gold, which kind of is weird with Thunder form because it's yellow. Although kind of making that color combination a bit less discernible. But this is a show that's very much going to come down to how much you like the standalone episodes. I think there are some really solid ones. I like the Koichi stuff. I think whenever Kenji's fiance shows up is also a really good thing. I like that they kind of make the Thunder Key a bit of a narc because of how much stronger it is. Is the one where he kind of travels back in where Kenji travels back in time is also pretty neat. This is probably going to be something that some people might just think is silly, goofy, but I think it's a fine enough season if you're looking for something to watch as like little relaxation or just junk food. It's fine. It's a solid toku that would become something else down the road after Takara merged with Tomy and they make the Tomoko Rescue Hero series. Anyway, just do the usual things to keep me in the loop, and we'll see you around.